Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our research on the topic Sustainable Development by a Statistical Analysis of Country Ranking by the Population Happiness Level, done by Myroslava Bublyk, Victoria Feshchin, Lennara Bekirova, and Olena Khomulyak, all at from Lviv Polytechnic National University. Our agenda is following. Introducing, here we will talk about main goal, task, etc. Literature review. In this section we will review the related literature and program structure. Methods, we will talk about main method which will be described here. Results and discussion. Experiments conduct would be shown and interpreted within this block. It will apply to the annual Gallup World survey called the World Happiness Report. It is based on the variety of data, the sources of which is unique annual survey on the secret of life in the happiness countries. The ranking of the happiness countries takes into account indicators of well-being such as gross domestic product per capita, life expectancy, civil liberties, a sense of security and confidence in the future, family stability, employment guarantee, corruption, and indirect indicator of society such as level of trust, generosity, and generosity. Introduction. Purpose. In this paper, we will try to get a little close to the data collected in the World Happiness Report, one answer to question about the factory of happiness development of national the secrets of life in the happiness countries. Goals. The main goal of this work is to develop a concept of the completing a rating of the happiness countries by based on relevant statistic. Novelty set on trend and pattern that affect the happiness and well-being of the population have been identified. It is proposed to shift the attention of economists to the importance of quality development rather than quantity, all back to the scenario. Task to solve this problem, we need to solve the following subtasks. First, evaluate the available method for solving the problem, analyze the advantage and disadvantage of the existing solution, set, justify the key components of the ranking of countries by the level of happiness of the population. A literature review is studying the presence and problem question of economics when money is for matter to people when the majority of the population receives enough. That else, instead of gross domestic product, that other factors need be to assess it to understand is the economy thriving or not. The author of the World Happiness Report 2022 believes that the studies can be help government leaders, politicals, economic figures better understand the needs, the aspiration of their citizens to improve their well-being and development. Methods. A mathematical model for data processing, the formation of the file with numerical data with text presentation, normal data visualization, a graphical representation with explanation and caption under the and in the figures. Generalize it of the dataset. Calculate the most common statistical indicators such as mode, median, scope, arithmetic, means, in other smooth and resmoothing, the use of smoothing, the resmoothing, and Stanford method for candle formulas. In researching the country ranking by the population happiness level, we consider the data which was created to help government leaders to get the better understanding the needs aspiration of their citizens to improve their well-being and development. The ranking of the happiness countries takes into account such indicators as well-being as gross domestic per capita, life expectancy, civil liberty, a sense of security of confidence in the future, family stability, employment guarantee, corruption, and indicators social such as level of trust, generosity. A graph representation of the economy, gross domestic per capita, and happiness scores is shown in the figures. It is the Cartesian coordinate system on the left side, and on the right side it is the popular coordinate system. The table with candle formulas implements simple moving average because for the smoothing interval on the middle of the time series, which correspond to the middle column of the table, all weights are 1 equal 1, the result of linear smoothing of the economy at W is equal 5 for the different countries ranking by the population happiness level is shown in the figure. The smooths the data using the dimension of the smoothing interval. VW is equal 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15 are presented in the figures. Repeated simple candles formula has been used the re-smoothing result at W equal 15, for example, for the different countries rated by the population happiness level. Our result is presented in the figure, describing the results. As we can see, using the basic method of visualization, graphical display, and primary statistical processing of numerical data, approximation, simplification of initial data of country ranking by the population happiness level by the method of linear smoothing is carried out. First approach. The ranking of the happiness countries should take into account welfare indicators such as gross domestic product per capita, life expectations, civil liberty, security, and confidence in the future, family stability, employment guarantee, corruption, and indirect indicators such as trust and generosity. Second approach, the tendency of transition of guarantee indicator for qualitative amongst those influencing happiness and well-being of the population is constructed. Now for the conclusion, and they are first, the difference in construction of graph in Cartesian and polar coordinate system quantitative characteristic of description statistic were determined. Approximation, simplification of initial data of country ranked by the population happiness level by the method of linear smoothing is carried out. The tendency of transition of guarantee indicator to quantitative amounts, those influencing happiness and well-being to the population is constructed. The data obtained by smoothing can be used to assess whether the economist is developing successfully. Thank you for your attention.